Have you ever been cuddling your cat? Everything feels peaceful, their purrs are gentle, your heart's melting, when suddenly, out of nowhere, they bite you. It almost feels like betrayal from the one feline you thought adored you most. I used to wonder, did I do something wrong? Are they just being moody? But here's the truth, that bite isn't random. It's not about aggression, it's communication. Your cat is trying to tell you something, and if you don't learn how to listen, you could miss important clues about their emotional or physical state. That tiny nip could be a sign of discomfort, overstimulation, or even pain. And once you understand the reason behind the bite, you'll know exactly how to respond, starting today. And if you've ever caught yourself thinking, I wish my cat could just talk to me, maybe in their own way, they already are. Before we dive into the emotional depth of this behavior, there's one truth about cats that often gets overlooked. Beneath all the cuteness, the fluff, and the meows for snacks, your cat is a hunter. Always has been, always will be. Evolution didn't forget that part, even if we did. Even the most pampered indoor cat has instincts rooted in survival and hunting. And one of the ways those instincts show up? Through play. And more specifically, through biting. For kittens especially, playtime is basically training camp for hunters. Every pounce, every stalk, and yes, every bite is their way of learning how to interact with the world like a true predator. So when your cat nips at you mid-play, they're not trying to hurt you. They're practicing. Give them something better to sink their teeth into. Wand toys, chew sticks, kicker pillows, anything that channels that natural urge into healthy play. The goal isn't to stop the instinct, it's to guide it in the right direction. If you've ever seen your cat's inner hunter come to life during play, give this video a like. It helps more cat lovers understand what those little bites really mean. It's also important to understand that every cat has their own unique threshold for excitement. Some can go from playful to overwhelmed in a heartbeat. Others give off subtle warning signs, a sudden flick of the tail, pupils that widen just a bit too much, or those quick, jerky movements that quietly say, I'm reaching my limit. If we miss those signals, the fun can spiral into overstimulation, and that's usually when the biting begins. Timing matters. Ending a play session while your cat's energy is still positive can make a huge difference. But playtime bites aren't the only kind. Sometimes you're simply sitting there, stroking your cat, everything calm and cozy, when suddenly they nip you out of nowhere. That's not play, that's petting-induced overstimulation, and it's way more common than most people realize. Every cat has their own unique tolerance for physical affection. Some will melt into your arms for hours, while others have a very clear limit. And when you cross it, that bite is their way of saying, hey, that's enough. If this has ever happened to you, don't take it personally. It doesn't mean your cat doesn't love you. It just means you missed their subtle cues. Things like flattened ears, a flicking tail, tense muscles, or sudden stillness. These are all signs your cat is starting to feel overstimulated. When you can tune into what they're trying to say, those quiet cuddle sessions stay sweet and bite-free. Now, let's talk about fear. When a cat feels scared or threatened, biting can be a last resort defense. Maybe it's a loud noise, a sudden movement, a stranger in their territory. Whatever it is, they feel cornered, and lashing out becomes a survival response. If your cat tends to bite when startled, creating a calm, predictable environment can help reduce those fear-based reactions. Use soft tones, avoid hovering or sudden grabs, and give them hiding spots they can retreat to when they're feeling uncertain. And then there's redirected aggression, a fascinating and frustrating behavior. Imagine this, your cat sees another cat outside the window. They're fired up, full of tension, but they can't reach the source of their stress. So what happens? They turn and bite the nearest thing. Often, that's you. It's not fair, but it's real. In moments like this, your cat isn't angry at you. They're just looking for an outlet. Identifying and managing these external stressors, like covering windows or limiting exposure to triggers, can reduce this kind of biting. You can even build in decompression routines. Think of it like a cool down after a workout. Use calming toys, play soft music, or introduce scents like valerian or silvervine that may help ease tension. Help them process those intense feelings without redirecting them toward you. Another thing to keep in mind, biting isn't always emotional. Sometimes it's physical. if your cat suddenly starts biting when you touch a particular spot, say their back, tail, or paws. It could be their way of saying, "That hurts." Pain-triggered biting is serious. And because cats are masters at hiding discomfort, behavioral changes like these are often one of the first visible signs something's wrong. So if the biting is new and specific to certain areas, a vet check should be your next move. Now, let's get a little more philosophical. Cats are territorial creatures. They might not bark or stake out their land like a dog, but they're just as fierce when it comes to protecting their space. If your cat bites you when you intrude on their favorite spot, or worse, when another cat is involved, it may be their way of reinforcing the boundaries of their domain. This is especially common in multi-cat households, where the social hierarchy is always in play. You'll often notice this behavior when introducing a new pet, or even moving furniture. If their perceived territory shifts, so can their behavior. Giving them consistent access to their safe zones and gradually expanding shared spaces can help reduce territorial biting. Socialization, or lack of it, also plays a massive role. Cats who weren't properly socialized during the critical early weeks of life may not have learned how to interact appropriately with humans or other animals. They may bite more frequently, simply because they never learned not to. But cats can learn. With patience, positive reinforcement, and consistency, even an under-socialized cat can begin to trust, play, and interact without biting. It just takes time. For these cats, slow movements and predictable routines are your best allies. Clicker training, for example, can offer a structured way to build trust while also giving them a sense of agency. And when a cat feels more in control, they're less likely to lash out. Sometimes, biting is a desperate plea for attention. If your cat notices that a nip gets you to react, whether with a squeal, a laugh, or even a scolding, they might keep doing it just to engage with you. It's not malicious, it's just them saying, "Look at me." If this sounds like your cat, try giving them more structured attention through play, affection, and routines that make them feel noticed without resorting to biting. And let's be honest, some cats are just clever manipulators. They'll test what works. If biting got your attention yesterday, they'll try it again today. Consistency is key here. Reward gentle behavior with praise or treats, and calmly disengage when biting happens. In time, they'll make the connection. If your cat has recently had kittens, maternal aggression could also be the reason behind the bites. A new mom is hyper aware of potential threats, even if those threats include her favorite human. Protective instincts kick in hard. Biting in this case is not about aggression, it's about guarding. Providing her with a quiet, secure space away from foot traffic or other pets can help reduce this behavior while she navigates motherhood. Respect is crucial here. Don't push contact, let her set the tone. Use soft tones, offer food. And finally, when biting seems sudden, unexplained, and doesn't fall neatly into any other category, it's often be traced back to hidden medical issues. From dental pain and arthritis to neurological disorders or hormonal changes, underlying health issues can quietly shift a cat's behavior. When they lash out without warning, it's not mischief, it's discomfort. Biting may be the symptom, not the problem. So if your cat's behavior changes dramatically or the biting seems out of character, getting them checked by a vet isn't just helpful, it's essential. A cat that bites isn't being bad, they're communicating in the clearest way they know how. Every bite, whether it comes from play, fear, frustration, or pain, is trying to say something. And when we learn to listen without frustration, without judgment, we unlock a new level of connection. We learn what they need, we respond with care, and that doesn't just stop future bites, it strengthens trust and deepens the bond we share. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you're curious about the other subtle signals your cat might be sending, especially the ones that quietly say, "I need more love," stick around. There's so much more they're trying to tell you, and I'm here to help you hear it.